Alright, Oil Gas Board, Chapter 401-5, State Oil Gas Board of Alabama, Governing Onshore Land Operation, Administrative Code, Chapter 401-5, Testing and Allowable, Table of Contents, 401-501, Daylight Hours, 02, Swabbing Cleaning Wells, 03, Production Test, 04, Production Allowable, Oil Measure 5, Oil 6, 06, Oil Condensating Measure, 07 gas to be metered, 09 gas oil ratio, 09 permissible tolerance and production volumes allowed for oil wells, 10 permissible tolerance and production volumes allowed for gas wells, daylight hours. Alright, all open drill stem tests shall be completed with the daily hours for sunset shall not be considered with a production test. Copies of the drill set test results shall be submitted to the board. Rule 401-4032. Purpose of this rule: the word completed shall mean with the closing of drill stem test spool valve. No well shall be swabbed into production except during daylight hours and before sunset. No well shall contain or which is reasonably expected to contain hydrogen sulfide shall be brought into production except during daylight hours before sunset unless otherwise approved by a supervisor. 400-1502, Swabbing Cleaning Wells. Flow test as well. Flow test less than 4 hours, including swabbing cleaning of the well, shall be not considered for the production test. A record of the daily operation well cleaning shall be reported on a reverse side of Form OGB-9. First production retest report given the pressure data, volume, water, fracture fluid, oil, condensation, and gas recovered unless otherwise approved by the supervisor. All wells shall be cleaned in a tank prior to production. The tank shall be sufficient size to contain all the fluids. 400-1503 production tests. All production tests shall be made only after the approval of the supervisor operator complete with a new well. Recompleting old well shall test as well determined with the applicable well capable of producing amount as it can produce, including any allowable if assigned. Such tests shall be stabilized rate minimum of 4 hours. Duration shall not exceed 72 hours and shall be taken in a manner prescribed by the board with the rules regulation. Any operator submit with a request written to receive the approval from the supervisor board pursuant to Rule 401-504 for extended tests beyond 72 hours. Of the result thereof, the verbally reported the supervisor immediately filed with the board Form OGB-9. First production retest within 15 days after the shuffle. The test is completed with more than one test is made with the reverse form side. OGB-9 may be used to give the complete test data. The test shown with the front side shall be considered with the official of the test result of such well. 2. Gas well capacity. With the capacity of the producing gas well should be determined with the time in which well goes into production, annual basis thereof, and the edge files. Initial capacity test. Capacity flow shall be determined and stabilized multi-point back pressure method of accordance with the procedure of the Interstate Oil Gas Compact Commission. Manual back pressure testing. Gas well sink capacity shall be calculated with the bottom hole of the absolute open flow potential well shall indicate capacity well to produce against 0 pounds per square pressure absolute at the formation. The result of the capacity test shall be reported with the board Form OGB-10 within 15 days after the test is completed. All of the field data with the calculation plot of the back pressure curve shall be submitted with this form. Annual capacity test of the capacity test should be determined with a stabilized 1-point back pressure method of the procedure set forth in the Interstate Oil Gas Compact Commission manual with the back pressure testing gas well with the most certain recently determined exponent N should be stabilized and multi-point back pressure test shall be used with a stabilized 1-point test determining the absolute open flow. Result of the capacity test shall be reported for the board within 15 days of the completion of OGB-10A with the reveal of the data calculations of plot of the back pressure shall be submitted within this form. The board may approve some of the other method of testing, but under no circumstance shall the open flow method be used. Measures should be taken under the following requirements. All pressure should be tested. Calculation should be correct with the pounds per square inch absolute, 14.65 psi absolute average barometric pressure. B. Basic orifice coefficients to with the calculation gas flow contained with the American Gas Association Gas Measurement Committee Report Number 3 is some of the other basic orifice coefficients generally accepted in the industry approved by the board. Gas measurement pilot tubes shall be based on the Reach formula and shall follow the recommendations similar to set forth in Appendix 4 of the U.S. Bureau of Mines monograph. 7. The correction of the base pressure base temperature shall be made to orifice measurements. D. The general gas measurements orifice well testers shall be filed recommendations similar to the set forth in bullet number E7 of the American Meter Company. Correction of base pressure, temperature, and base temperature gravity shall be made as an orifice measurement. Alright, 401.504 production allowable to use until special field until special fields rules adopted. The operator shall submit the request in writing to receive approval from the supervisor. Extended testing with the end of the temporary test allowable. Request should be come to the form OGB 9 first production retest report or OGB 12 operator certificate of compliance authorization transport oil gas condensation from a well. Variations of the temporary test allowable shall be specified with the supervisor. Payment permanent production allowable shall be established with the board after notice hearing. 401.505 oil measurement quantities of oil should be computed with the tank tables correctly comply with accordance with American Petroleum Institute Standard 2501 crude oil tank measurement calibration second edition July 1961 subsequent revisions thereof. To the American Petroleum Institute, gravity of the crude oil determined in accordance with the API standard 2500, measuring sample controlling crude oil, second edition, March 1961. Subsequent revisions thereof, the API standard 2500 restated standard of the American Society testing material, Visa, ASTM designation D28739, standard method test for the gravity petroleum product. By means of hydrometer, observe gravity if the observed temperature corrected with the API gravity volume at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. U for the tables with the American Testing Material Institute of the Petroleum, ASTM IP petroleum measurement tables, ASTM designation number 1250, API and IP designation 200. 3. Correction of the basic sediment in the water shall be made in accordance with the method specified with the joint ASTM API method as of the method for the testing water sediment of the crude oil with the ASTM designation D9663 API standard 2542. Alright, the standards cited above shall be superseded with the future revision such standards. However, the board shall, if the characteristic crude oil makes it necessary after notice hearing, is issued field reveal rules, special rules, or regulations, and order prescribing specified method of measuring, sample, and testing crude oil. 401.506 oil condensating to be measured oil. All oil produced should be accurately measured and reported with the board of the operator form OGB 14 operators monthly report for the oil wells. All condensating produced shall be accurately measured and reported by the board by operator form OGB 15 operators monthly report with the gas well. Sufficient capacity shall be provided with the operator to accurately measure with all the oil and condensation produced. Provided with the exemptions may be granted by the supervisor board of physical conditions, make exemptions to necessary. 401.507 the gas meter. All gas shall be accurately measured and in accordance with the standards set forth with the American Gas Association reported with the board by the operator form OGB 15 operators monthly report for gas wells. 401.508 gas oil ratio. Any well producing with a gas oil ratio exceeding 2,000 cubic feet of gas barrel with the oil gas producing shall be allowed to produce daily only. The volume of the gas obtained multiplying the daily oil allowable to 2,000 cubic feet. The gas shall be obtained shall be known as the daily gas allowable such well. The daily oil allowable such well in barrels shall then be determined dividing the daily gas allowable obtained as a herein provided by the producing gas oil ratio in cubic feet per barrel oil produced. All well producing gas captive of the oil reservoir in which the oil well of the wells are complete with the producing shall with the extent of the can produced without waste has be allowed to produce daily only with the volume of the gas and with the hydrocarbons over the condition with the pressure of the temperature of the existing reservoir from which it produces equivalent in volume under the like pressure temperature of the oil of the gas would be produced daily with the oil well in the same reservoir producing the highest daily oil allowable if its gas oil ratio or 2,000 cubic feet of gas per hour oil. Alright, 401.509 permissible tolerance production volumes allowed for oil wells. Daily tolerance is not recognized for the oil located with the unable units capable of the producing of the daily allowable overdue for the 1 day with the unproduced enough until the produce for the testing with the process for the completing with the recompleting with the well for the test made for the purpose of the obtaining scientific have the job produce for any day more than 125% of the daily allowable assigned unit of the 10 barrels above the daily unit allowable, whichever is greater than the foregoing under production may be made up by production of the same unit within the same month. The overproduction should be adjusted with underproduction. 3.2 monthly tolerances. No unit shall produce any of the 1 month more of the monthly allowable plus for the tolerance equal to 3 days allowable production with allowable monthly tolerance overproduction should be adjusted down to the following month with the underproduction. Overproduction within the permitted tolerance shall be considered the oil produced against the allowable assigned to the units the following month. 3. Production excessive of the monthly allowable plus for the tolerance. Instead of the production excessive of the monthly allowable plus for the tolerance occur with the error, mechanical test, or failure, other cause of the reasonable beacon control of the operator report, such for the production shall be filed with the writing of the board of transport within 15 days of the occurrence. Such report shall contain the number of the barrels, except for the production plan of the adjustments and such. Excess production should be considered the oil produced by against the allowable to assign you with the following month and such of the may be to transport with the tanks home with the units accrue with the daily allowable to offset such excess production. 4. General, the tolerance permitted with the daily monthly basis shall be construed with the increase of the allowable the unit with the granting authority for the operator to market with any of the transport quality of the oil excessive of the unit allows the position quantity of the oil discharge. And if any of the month excessive of 3 days allowable the plus for the untransported allowable oil shall be constructed as a violation of the rules unless reported as provided in 3 above. Alright, 401.510 permissible tolerance production volumes allowed for the gas wells. Daily tolerance. All of the gas wells may be overproduced with the daily allowable 1 day, underproduced with another, no unit other than for the purpose of the testing of the process of completing, recompleting with as well for the purpose of the testing that obtains scientific data shall produce with during any 1 day more than 200% of the daily allowable assigned for the unit subject to the foregoing. Any of the underproduction may be made for the production of the same unit within the same month of the overproduction shall be adjusted by underproduction. 2. Monthly tolerance. No unit shall be made for the produce 1 month of the more than monthly allowable for such unit plus of the equal to 5 days allowable the production allowable the monthly time with the overproduction shall be adjusted as during the following month of the by underproduction. Overproduction within permitted tolerance shall be considered as the gas produced and allowable assigned to the unit of the following month. 3. Production excessive of the month allowable plus for the tolerance. Instead of the production excessive of the monthly allowable plus for the tolerance occurred with the error, mechanical failure testing with the other call with reasonably beyond the control of the operator report and such access for the production shall be filed in writing with the board of transporter within 15 days of the occurrence. Such report shall contain with the number of the cubic feet with excess of the production plan with adjustments such for the excess of the production shall be considered as gas produced against the allowable assigned unit for the following month. 4. General. The tolerance permitted on a daily, monthly basis shall not be construed with increase of the allowable of the unit with grant authority for the operate in market or into any transport or to transport any quantity of the gas in excess of the units allowed. Alright, that was testing and allowable.